Monsieur le Président, Mesdames et Messieurs les députés, au cours de ces 6 derniers mois, les Européens ont fait preuve de toute cette force. Nous l'avons vu avec les soignants qui ont déménagé dans les maisons de retraite pour s'occuper des malades et des personnes âgées, avec les médecins et les infirmières qui sont devenus membres de familles pour les malades arrivés à leur dernier souffle, et avec tous les travailleurs de première ligne qui, jour et nuit, semaine après semaine, ont pris des risques pour nous tous. Leur empathie, leur courage et leur sens du devoir nous inspirent. Et je voudrais commencer ce discours en leur rendant hommage. A virus 1,000 times smaller than a grain of sand exposed how delicate life can be. It laid bare the strains on our health systems and the limits of a model that values wealth above well-being. Europe must continue to protect lives and livelihoods. This is all the more important in the middle of a pandemic that shows no sign of running out of steam or intensity. We know how quickly numbers can spiral out of control. So we must continue to handle this pandemic with extreme care, responsibility, and unity. In the last 6 months, our health systems and workers have produced miracles. Every country has worked to do its best for its citizens, and Europe has done more together than ever before. When the member states closed borders, we created green lanes for goods. When more than 600,000 European citizens were stranded all over the world, the EU brought them back home. When some countries introduced export bans for critical medical goods, we stopped that and ensured that critical medical goods should go where it was needed. We worked with the European industry to increase the production of masks, of gloves, of tests, of ventilators. Our civil protection mechanism ensured that doctors from Romania could treat patients in Italy, or that Latvia could send masks to its Baltic neighbors. And we achieved all that without having full competencies. So for me, it is crystal clear. We need to build a stronger European health union. It is time to do that. And to start making this a reality, we must now draw the first lessons from the health crisis. We need to make our new EU for Health program future-proof. And this is why I had proposed to increase funding, and I'm grateful that this Parliament is ready to fight for more funding and remedy the cuts made by the European Council. And we need to strengthen our crisis preparedness and management of cross-border health issues. As a first step, we will propose to reinforce and empower the European Medicines Agency and ECDC, our Centre for Disease Prevention and Control. As a second step, we will build a European BARDA, an agency for biomedical advanced research and development. This new agency will support our capacity and readiness to respond to cross-border threats and emergencies, whether of natural or deliberate origin. We need strategic stockpiling to address supply chain dependencies, notably for pharmaceutical goods, And because it was a global crisis, we need to learn the global lessons. This is why, along with Prime Minister Conte and the Italian G20 presidency next year, I will convene a global health summit next year in Italy. This will show Europeans that our union is there to protect them all. Our leadership is not about self-serving propaganda. It is not about Europe first. We know none of us will ever be safe until all of us are safe. And we know wherever we live, whatever we have, there has to be access, affordable and safe access to vaccines, treatments, and diagnostics. At the beginning of the pandemic, there was no funding, there was no global framework for a COVID-19 vaccine. There was just the rush to be the first one to get one. And this was the moment when the European Union stepped up to lead the global response. With civil society, with G20, with WHO and others, we brought more than 40 countries together to raise 16 billion euros to finance research on vaccines, on tests, on treatments for the whole world. And this is Europe's unmatched convening power we can be so proud of. It is not enough to find a vaccine. We need to make sure that European citizens and those around the world have access to it. And just this month, the European Union joined the COVAX Global Facility and contributed 400 million euro to help ensure that safe vaccines are available not only for those who can afford it, but for everyone who needs it. Because we know vaccine nationalism puts lives at risk. Only vaccine cooperation saves lives. Honourable members, we are firm believers in the strength and value of cooperating in international bodies. It is with a strong World Health Organization that we can better prepare and respond to global pandemics or local outbreaks, be it corona or Ebola. Our global system has grown into a creeping paralysis. Major powers are either pulling out or they're taking the institutions hostage for their own interests. And neither road will lead anywhere. Yes, we need change, but we need change by design and not by destruction of our international system. And this is why I want the European Union to lead reforms on WHO and WTO so that they are fit for today's world. But as we pull through together, we must also propel ourselves forward in the world of tomorrow. And there is no urgent need for acceleration, no more urgent need for acceleration than when it comes to the future of our fragile planet. While much of the world's activity froze during lockdowns and shutdowns, the planet continued to get dangerously hotter. And we see it all around us, from houses evacuated due to the glacier collapse on the Mont Blanc, to fires burning through Oregon, to crops destroyed in Romania by the most severe droughts in decades. But we also saw nature coming back into our lives. We longed for green spaces and clean air, for our mental health and our physical well-being. We know change is needed, and we also know it is possible. The European Green Deal is our blueprint to make that transformation. At the heart of it is our mission to become the first climate-neutral continent in 2050. The European Commission is proposing to increase the 2030 targets for emission reduction to at least 55%. If others follow our lead, the world will be able to keep warming below 1.5 degrees Celsius. The 2030 target is ambitious, it's achievable, and it is beneficial for Europe. We can do it. And we have already shown that we can do it. While emissions dropped 25% since 1990, our economy grew more than 60%. The difference is now that we now have the technology, we have way more expertise, and we have the investment. And we are already embarking towards a circular economy with carbon neutral production. We want to be leading in the world on that. We have more young people pushing for change. We have more proof that what is good for the climate is good for business and is good for us all.